you can count on us. This is 7 News Good Morning Fort Sill.
Well, good morning, and thanks for joining us on your midweek edition of Good Morning Fort Sill, right through the middle of the week. Yesterday was a beautiful day.
A beautiful day for sure. Didn't get a chance to grill like I'd hoped.
Oh, I thought, oh man.
Maybe today or tomorrow, though, because I think we have some pretty nice days ahead, right, Michael?
Yeah.
In a way, yes. No precipitation expected, at least for the next 7 days. But right now, it's currently 52 degrees at Fort Sill with partly cloudy skies. And it is a little bit breezy out there as we're getting a cold front moving in through pretty much the good portions of the state. And generally, temperatures will be in the low 40s for the meantime. And then we'll be reaching into the low 50s as we get to around, say, 8 to 9 and even 10 a.m. later on this morning. It will be slightly cooler than we were yesterday. And that has to do with that cold front moving to the area. We can see satellite and radar showing those mid and upper level clouds streaming across the area. At the surface level, we're not seeing too much in the way of cloud cover. Looking at the Jackson County Memorial Hospital tower cam, you can see that it is shaking a little bit, and that's because of those winds. And looking at yesterday, we here in Lawton, 69 was the high, 24 was the low. So we had those cooler temperatures in the morning, rapidly warming up during the afternoon hours. Elsewhere, we had a high of 63 in Chickasha. 68 was the high in Duncan. Lower 70s across our south and southwestern county. 73 was the high in Wichita Falls. 70 for Frederick. 74 in Vernon. 71 in Childress.
Looking at our top military story, and this is what we've been following for a while now. So a military doctor at Fort Hood accused of sexual misconduct is now facing military charges.
That's right. Major Blaine McGraw, an Army gynecologist, is charged with alleged instances of indecent visual recording of his patients. The Army Office of Special Trial Counsel says the alleged offenses involved 44 women and occurred between January 1st and December 1st of this year.
According to an Army spokesperson, McGraw is in pretrial confinement awaiting a preliminary hearing. Meanwhile, a Houston-based law firm has announced they are suing McGraw on behalf of 70 of his former patients.
Meanwhile, in our nation's capital, bipartisan calls are growing to release the video of that second strike on an alleged drug boat in the Caribbean back in September.
The Trump administration initially said they would release whatever footage they have if asked. However, War Secretary Pete Hegseth has since walked back that claim, saying the DOW will now have to review the footage before it's released. Some lawmakers say the second strike that killed 2 suspected drug runners violated international rules of engagement and constitute a war crime.
Based on what people have told me who have seen it, they've said it's very striking. It presents a very different picture. So, you know, it'd be good to see it. I'd like to see it.
At some point, this evidence has to be disclosed. Donald Trump reversing himself, backtracking, saying he won't make it public, speaks volumes.
We struck a submersible. There were 2 survivors about a month after the September 2nd strike. We returned those survivors to their countries of origin. If they were narco traffickers, why didn't we arrest them?
All right, well, cool. This is a good story here, Kyle. So St. Barbara's Day St. Barbara is the patron saint of the Field Artillery, and she's celebrated every December on St. Barbara's Day, which is actually happens to be on December 4th, so it was last Thursday. There are a couple awards that are associated with St. Barbara's Day, given in honor of her. So soldiers and Marines within the Field Artillery branch will either get the Honorable Order of St. Barbara or the Ancient Order of St. Barbara. So cool deal. You know, I actually went to their St. Barbara's Day celebration on Friday, and it was pretty good. So they also give out something called the Molly Pitcher Award. So it goes to typically spouses of service members. So my wife has a Molly Pitcher Award. It dated back to a woman named Mary Hayes McCauley back in the Revolutionary War, Battle of Monmouth and Valley Forge. Her husband was an artilleryman.
Okay.
She would carry water. It was a very hot day during that battle. She would carry water to the gun line. When her husband was injured, she actually picked up a ramming staff and actually started manning his gun. So that's where that's steeped in the legend and the story of Molly Pitcher and where that award comes from.
Cool history. So Fort Sill hosted their celebration last week at the Patriot Club. Deputy Commanding General of the U.S. Army Training and Transformation Command, Lieutenant General Edmund M. Brown, was the Speaker of Honor.
Now, congratulations to all those attendees who were awarded either the Molly Pitcher Award or the Honorable Order of or Ancient Order of St. Barbara.
Well, soldiers with the Oklahoma National Guard attended the first Oklahoma Maintenance Orientation course last week at the Combined Support Maintenance Shop in Norman.
Now, the course focused on preventive maintenance for weapons, vehicles, trailers, and generators. Soldiers received hands-on training in changing tires, hooking up trailers, and other essential tasks that build the foundation for future maintenance success. Well, Santa Claus is taking time away from his busy schedule at the North Pole to make a special appearance at Army Community Services on Fort Sill this month. That event will take place next Friday from 9 until 11 a.m. at the ACS building.
Santa's bringing some special guests with them, including the Grinch and Buddy the Elf.
Ooh, Buddy the Elf.
And one of your favorites.
Yes.
There will be free photos available along with cookies and popcorn, ornament decorating, and much more. The event is free and open to everyone. More information can be found on the Fort Sill ACS's Facebook page. And the Fort Sill Recycling Center is spreading a holiday cheer by providing live Christmas trees to soldiers and their families this weekend. Now, trees will be given out Saturday to active duty families from 7 a.m. until 5 p.m.
Now, if you missed that opportunity, the center will also be handing trees out again on Sunday. That giveaway is actually open to active duty retirees and civilians from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Trees are distributed on a first-come, first-served basis, and you must have a military ID. For more information, you can contact the number on your screen.
The ITT office on Sheppard Air Force Base has announced they are now open for Exodus ticket sales. Now, if you're interested in getting tickets to your holiday destinations during the Exodus, you can visit 82ndfss.com for more information.
Moving over to Altus Air Force Base, the command team of the 97th Air Mobility Wing at Altus took time out of their very busy schedules to connect with airmen who work for them.
Leaders met up with airmen to grab a bite to eat and take time to discuss issues affecting their personal and professional lives, as well as build trust and camaraderie from the flight line to the front office.
Now, the 97th AMW says a stronger team starts with open communication. And if you're a fan of How the Grinch Stole Christmas...
Who is that, right?
Man, I'd say the Grinch?
Yeah, who is
Grinchy
it?
Grinch. I don't know. Who's the Grinch? I'm not a Grinch. I mean, you know, but at any rate... all right, where was I at? Shoot, all right, so you got me off track, Kyle. All right, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Shadowcast is in theaters in Altus Air Force Base. They're inviting you to this very special screening of the holiday classic. Pegasus Productions is putting on a Shadowcast experience during the film, which would be kind of interesting. That event will take place this Friday at 6 p.m. Attendees are invited to wear their favorite Whoville attire. Kyle, you need to go to this and wear your Whoville attire. For more information, you can call the number on your screen.
Well, still ahead, a newly proposed rule change may allow more military academy football players to go pro. Your news from around the forces is coming up next.
Changes happen. With 7 News First Alert, you'll be ready.
A man charged in a deadly hit and run from 2023 has been sentenced.
7 News is working for you.
The Lawton Firefighters Association is raising awareness about critical staffing issues.
Your first alert for what's next.
We're just going to see dry conditions, mostly sunny skies.
Uncovering breaking stories that impact Texoma.
The city of Lawton's Ward 2 councilman has announced his resignation.
Checking facts and finding solutions. 7 News, working for you every night at 5 and 6. Here's your first alert forecast with meteorologist Michael Amankwa.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's a much more mild morning compared to yesterday. And looking at our current temperatures, we're sitting in the lower to upper 40s and a few lower to mid 50s, 55 currently in Duncan, 52 in Lawton, 41 currently in Wichita Falls, 51 in Chickasha, 55 in Anadarko, 47 in Hobart, 42 down in Graham, 50 in Jacksboro, and 44 in Childress. Compared to this time 24 hours ago, we're up 25 degrees warmer than we were this time in Lawton. We were in the 20s this time yesterday. 20-degree difference, much warmer in Chickasha, 22-degree difference in Duncan, 11 degrees warmer in Wichita Falls. So generally, especially in our northern counties, we're seeing much warmer temperatures. Relative humidity values generally between 40, 50%, but our southern counties are seeing 70 and 80%. And wind speeds are already out of the north between 10 to 20 miles per hour, 23 mile per hour sustained wind in Duncan. Looking at wind gusts, we're seeing wind gusts as high as 28 in Duncan, 18 mile per hour wind gusts in Anadarko, 20 mile per hour wind gust in Kewanna. Looking at current conditions, you can see that front slowly making its way to the area. It's only going to shave a few degrees off of our official highs today. It's not really bringing in much colder air, but it is actually due to this little clipper of a system currently in the portions of the Midwest. If you're anywhere in the Midwest right now, you're dealing with very high winds, and on the backside of the system, you're dealing with some wintry precipitation. We're not going to see any of that. We're just going to see some cloud cover associated with this and breezy conditions with mostly sunny skies.
Well, this weekend is the big Army-Navy football game, and cadets from both academies already know where they're headed post-graduation after this month's branch assignments came out.
However, a law working its way through Congress right now would tweak current rules for Academy athletes to expand the opportunity among those players and their classmates to defer their service to chase careers in professional sports.
Now, a provision in the National Defense Authorization Act would tweak a 2025 law on who can go pro from the three military service academies. Now, current rules allow up to 3 graduates per year to commission in the reserves and delay active duty service obligations to pursue pro careers.
And now, what do you think about this, Kyle, real quick? We just like, I think they deserve to be able to at least take a shot. Right?
Now, all they're doing right now is they're going to expand that new law to 5 per class, which, to be honest, I mean, you're probably not seeing that many athletes from the Academy services every year go, but it's nice to have that option if you have like a really good group. Like Navy's got a really good football team this year. You never know. The receiver there, Heidenreich, I think he's their career leader in receptions, so maybe he has a chance. Maybe the quarterback has a chance, and Army's got a couple good defensive players, so you never know, right?
Now, it is important to note, though, Kyle, as we talk about this, those selected still owe a full service obligation when their sports careers come to an end. So, I mean, they still have to, they obviously they go to that service academy. They need you need to be able to honor that commitment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, South Carolina is set to receive nearly $390 million worth of funding for military construction contracts for the installations across the Palmetto State.
It's part of the National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2026. Projects include a nuclear power training facility expansion, a new aeromedical evacuation center, and extended funding for hangars and recruit barracks.
Now, the package also includes several policy measures, including ending DEI programs in the Department of War, expanding protections for women in the military, and banning painful dog and cat testing by the Pentagon.
And with all the things that the NDAA does have funding set aside for, one standout is a lack of provisions that would have ensured the military's ability to purchase the technical data, parts, and information needed to repair its own equipment.
The bill does not include the House and Senate versions of the Right to Repair Act that would require defense contractors to provide technical data necessary for military personnel to repair equipment in the field. That change has seen support from President Trump and the War Department, who say the current system is broken.
The U.S. Coast Guard says they have seized more than 150,000 pounds of cocaine off the West Coast since early August.
Operation Pacific Viper has accelerated counter-drug operations from illicit suppliers in Central and South America. According to the Guard, 80% of all U.S.-bound narcotics seizures occur at sea.
Last week, Coast Guard Cutter Monroe seized over 20,000 pounds of cocaine, disabling a smuggling vessel with gunfire before seizing its cargo. Well, according to a new study, Vietnam War veterans exposed to Agent Orange have a higher risk of developing a rare blood cancer that develops slowly over decades.
So the study linked myelodysplastic syndrome to the widespread use of herbicide. Researchers say that the breakthrough could help veterans with the syndrome access VA benefits and services.
About 20,000 new cases of MDS are identified in the U.S. each year. Patients typically are over the age of 70 at diagnosis. An estimated 2.6 million service members likely were exposed to Agent Orange.
The DOW has released new AI tools for their employees. We'll have the latest national military headlines coming up after the break.
Changes happen. With 7 News First Alert, you'll be ready.
A man charged in a deadly hit and run from 2023 has been sentenced.
7 News is working for you.
The Lawton Firefighters Association is raising awareness about critical staffing issues.
Your first alert for what's next.
We're just going to see dry conditions, mostly sunny skies.
uncovering breaking stories that impact Texoma.
The City of Lawton's Ward 2 councilman has announced his resignation.
Checking facts and finding solutions. 7 News, working for you every night at 5 and 6.
Well, the future of the hospital at Fort Gordon hangs in the balance while the Defense Health Agency conducts a thorough review of its operations.
So last month, Georgia Senator Jon Ossoff requested answers from military health officials about reported plans to reduce services at Eisenhower Army Medical Center. The facility operates as a teaching hospital with 80 residents and it employs about 1,500 people total. The DHA has not provided any clear answers to the senator's inquiries.
Pentagon employees now have access to new artificial intelligence tools. GenAI.mil is a secure generative AI platform, and it's the first step towards mass AI adoption across the department.
The site uses a specialized version of the Google AI tool, Gemini, for government. This version is approved to handle controlled, unclassified information. In addition to Gemini for government, the site indicates that other American-made frontier AI capabilities will be available soon. U.S. Navy Secretary John Phelan has announced the service is investing nearly $450 million in the shipbuilding operating system, which would accelerate the adoption of artificial intelligence and autonomy technologies.
ShipOS will leverage software to bring modern best practices to the complex, data-heavy environment of Navy shipbuilding. The initiative will provide a unified, data-driven approach to production management that enables faster and more informed decisions.
Soldiers at Fort Hood are lacing up the gloves and hitting the ring to show who is the toughest amateur pugilist on the installation.
So this is kind of cool. They're bringing this back. So this weekend is the final event in the 2025 Fort Hood Fight Night. The winners from the first 2 fight nights are competing to be named Fort Hood champion and go on to compete against the other installations under 3rd Corps.
Now, it's the first time in more than 15 years that anyone has held that title since the installation stopped the event way back in 2009. Having it back has brought a new boost of energy for those involved.
I actually fought in the first fight night, and coming out the tunnel, it was jitters definitely hit. I didn't expect it to be that this size. I had family come, and they were texting me. They was like, "This is packed," and I didn't believe it until I came out. So just seeing all those people, like, this is something good.
Looking at your international military news, the Israeli military is now under control of the UN's Relief and Works Agency in Jerusalem after a raid on Monday.
The agency serves Palestinian refugees and says Israeli forces seized furniture, IT equipment, and other property. Israeli officials say the raid was part of a debt collection procedure, claiming that the United Nations owes more than $3 million in back property taxes.
Now, the UN claims that it is exempt from those taxes as it has been as it has been in the past.
Well, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky met with Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni this morning, or yesterday morning, to discuss the ongoing conflict with Russia. In a post on X, Zelensky thanked the country for support, specifically for their energy and equipment contributions.
Zelensky has been touring Europe and hopes to drum up more support for his country's efforts, while peace talks between the White House and the Kremlin have reached an impasse.
Well, every year around Christmas time, there's traditions that continue to endure. Christmas carols, holiday movies, and plenty of eggnog and hot cocoa.
Another one of those traditions is NORAD's annual Santa Tracker.
That's right.
It's always exciting every year on Christmas Eve. NORAD keeps track of Santa's sleigh and provides real-time updates on where he's delivering presents. This year marks the 70th anniversary of the tracker.
NORAD began the tradition back in 1955 to celebrate. From now until the end of the month, you'll be able to see a special display at the Colorado Springs Airport. Leaders from the U.S. Air Force as well as partner nations gathered for the annual push ceremony that marks the official beginning of Operation Christmas Drop at Andersen Air Force Base in Guam.
So this is the 74th iteration of this operation, which is the War Department's longest-running humanitarian airlift mission. That event began in 1952 after crew members aboard a B-29 crew or aircraft flying near the island spotted islanders waving from below and dropped supplies as an act of goodwill. And taking a tour of Christmas lights can be a fun activity for many families.
The Civil Air Force hangar at the Midland International Air and Spaceport are giving residents a unique view of the Christmas season from over 1,500 feet in the air. The special Christmas flights last about 30 minutes and are made possible by volunteer pilots and CAF members who donate their time, skills, and passion for history.
It's great to see them from the ground, but when you see them from the air, you get a whole big area of them, and there's some really pretty areas outside around Midland or around Midland that are really neat to look at. And it's just something that you don't normally get to do. It's a great way to see the Christmas lights.
Now, the Commemorative Air Force says that these flights give passengers a true taste of what it's like to fly in an authentic World War II aircraft, and they serve as a fundraiser, helping preserve military aviation history from World War II through Vietnam and keeping these aircraft flying.
Alert forecast with meteorologist Michael Amanqua.
Now, because of the cold front that's currently moving through the area, we could see wind gusts today as high as 25 to 30 as we go, especially throughout the morning to afternoon hours, and then the winds really start to taper off as we go throughout the late afternoon and evening hours. That front will continue to make its way towards the south later on today. And then we will have mostly sunny skies for today, and the same could be said on your Tuesday. Again, starting with mostly clear skies to mostly sunny skies. Now, going to your Wednesday, we get another front that comes, not with Wednesday, excuse me. As you go into your Friday, this front will actually make its way through the area. It will stall out on your Saturday before finally pushing towards the south and southeast. And then as you head towards your Sunday, we'll start increasing the cloud cover, especially on your Monday and your Tuesday, with partly to mostly sunny skies. Looking at today, only a high 59 to around 62 degrees today here in Lawton. Mostly sunny skies and breezy, 5 to 20 miles per hour winds with gusts as high as 30, down to a low of 35 tonight, with those clear skies allowing the temperatures to really cool down. Winds switching from the north to the southwest at 5 to 15, and a high of 67 tomorrow. So we will be rebounding back into the mid to upper 60s, mostly sunny, and we'll have those southwest winds at 5 to 15 miles an hour. And as you look at your 70 forecast, we remain slightly above average as we go throughout the rest of this week. Another front comes in by your weekend, knocking us into the 50s and eventually into the 40s, and then we rebound back to the 50s and 60s.
Look at that Thursday temperature.
Yeah.
67 outside.
There we go. Man, it's December? Is it December?
Might be wearing shorts in December for that one, for sure. Well, thanks for watching. Good morning, Fort Sill. Check the 7 News app today for updates and breaking news.
Good morning. Tech Summit's up next. Stay with us.